Here. Hey, what's going on? YouTube, Facebook, King Kevin in the building, baby. Man, I finally got my a purple king coat. Man, what do they call these things, man? I had this made some years ago at for a stage play I produced 2015, 16, the Courage to Believe stage play. And long story short, before I go into the subject matter, I like to start, with a little humor, before we dive in. The subject's not serious, but it's not a serious energy, if that makes any sense. So, this coat was made by one of the mothers of the members that was part of the play, Courage to Believe, Never Give Up, and we used a old one that's nowhere near as elegant or as flamboyant as this one is. So the one of the mothers made it, and she gave it to one of the kids to go ahead and, give this to me or the production manager, so that we can use this instead of the old raggedy one we was using in the stage play back in Fort Lauderdale, African-American Research Library. Shout out to everybody in Fort Lauderdale at that library, the whole staff, so many nice, kind spirits from that African Research Library. I believe there's only 2 of them in the country like that specific one. So shout out to Fort Lauderdale, the whole city, Broward County, what's happening. Hey there, Sexy Gaston. So, but anyway, we didn't realize the mom made this until after the stage play, maybe even the next day. She was asking why I didn't wear the thing I made for y'all, the purple king coat. You know what I'm saying? I made for you. I think it's called a cloak. And we was like, what cloak you made? We didn't get any. And lo and behold, when we got through unpacking everything after the day of the stage play, either throw away things we didn't want or giving back the materials that we borrowed, we found this in the black bag, and that was so funny, man. It was so funny that we have found this, after the fact, almost like you have a good idea, you have a great idea, and if you would have acted on that good idea, would have been your first move, then, you wouldn't have regretted making an awful idea after you realize, all things considered, So I don't know. I do that all the time, If I would have made the proper decision, at the first time, it'll made me avoid the horrible outcome, which is very important that we try to make as less mistakes as possible. But nobody's perfect. So my video today is about whether or not, marriage is love strong enough. Me, I'm 42 years old and have been married, never proposed, haven't proposed yet. The only woman that I almost proposed to, she broke my heart. So I just never really mustered up the strength or the love energy to go ahead and get married, right? And in the Black community, I still see a few marriages here and there, but some churches only have 1 or 2 marriages a quarter, if any at all. Now that's alarming. But then again, what constitutes as a marriage? Many of us have the idea that getting married is, going to the courthouse and getting documents signed with a couple of witnesses, or going to a church and having a pastor, bless the marriage and pray, and you have this big celebration. Bless you. You have the big celebration, and that's it. Going on honeymoon. Some marriages, weddings, they go broke. They spend all the money they have. Bless me. They spend all the money they have to do the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Invested so much in the wedding and showing the world that we are in love with each other. But push comes to shove, when they get that honeymoon is over with, the wedding and the honeymoon is over with, they are moving, whether into the homes of their parents or friend, or they don't have an apartment, the rent is due or overdue, or et cetera, et cetera. So I think we really need to really reanalyze what is marriage. And what does marriage means to my spouse, right? So I've been thinking for the past couple of days. I haven't made a video in like 2-3 weeks, and I promise I'm gonna vamp it up. It's gonna be a full production backdrop, camera, the rights, the lighting, the settings, etc., etc. By the way, thank you for the shout out. All my twists, got my head twisted as well. Again, so it's pretty cool. Taking time to, what I'm saying, look the part, so to speak. But I want you guys to really listen to what I'm saying when it comes to what does marriage mean. In some cultures, marriage literally means that you're living together and you're taking care of your children, and you're married. Some cultures, you kiss, you're married. You know what I'm saying? That first kiss, you're married. Sex, you're married. In the U.S., we have common law marriage. When you live with a person for a certain amount of years, then that constitutes as a marriage. Now, married and marriage. What does marriage mean to you? What does being married mean to you? What does it mean to me? To me, being married is meeting the person that's going to help me reach my divine purpose and destiny. Many of us are getting married for the wrong reasons. We married a woman because she has a fat ass, or a guy who has, what I'm saying, a big digger-ling, what I'm saying? Could because you like his car, you like his swag, you like his hair, you like his jewelry, you might like several other things that this man may or may not have. You may like the fact that he makes you feel safe. Those things, it is your world. It's good, could be good reasons to get married, right? But what about the lasting marriage? What our community needs? The reason why this crossed my mind the other day, I was watching this show called Love Island or Love Connection. I believe it's on Hulu, Amazon Prime, but it's some kind of love show. And people are literally basing their love and their relationships off of, what this show constitutes as a relationship. What I'm saying? Based on certain features, physical features a man or female may have, and you're a perfect match. Nothing dealing with spiritual connection, nothing dealing with cultural values or what you have in common. It's all about the looks. And when we go into a situation, thinking like that, oh yeah, you're the perfect mate because you have this amount of money saved up, your credit is this, your body, shaped the way I like it. You have the muscles I like and love how you cook. But we need more things that are of substance. You know what I'm saying? We need, many of you need a praying partner. You have no idea. Many of us have no idea how much of our lives are, determined by our spiritual connections and power, and a connection, of course, with our Creator, God Almighty. Whether it be a mother God, father God, but having that connection, knowing that when you go out into the world, that you have multiple enemies, unseen, unknown enemies, shooting at you. And when you have a partner, whether you consider yourself married or not, when you have a partner and that person is willing to pray for you on the spot at any level of adversity, whether pray for you on the spot at any level of adversity, that's invaluable. Having someone who understands you, who compliments, not just verbally compliments you, but just by the things they do, they complement your lifestyle. You complement theirs. It's a two-way street. And there's too many narcissists out there, too many self-centered women and men out there. I'm in Atlanta, so I see the worst of the worst. Just so much about me, 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 me. What you gonna do for me, 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 and nothing about what they gonna do for you. Not a thing mentioned about what they're gonna do for you or what they can do for you outside of the sexual pleasures. Like any man, well, most real men, you love a woman who is physically attractive, mentally stimulated, a woman that knows how to hold it down and hold it up, a woman You know, like most men, myself, you know, I love the feel and touch of a woman. I love the connection, the energy, you know, the hugging and kissing of my woman. You know, my woman, you know, or pleasing me orally. You know what I'm saying? Love making middle of the night. You know, early in the morning. That exiting the house, leaving the house to go to work, and that warm embrace, that kiss. Okay, baby, you know what I'm saying? You know, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna have a great day. I can't wait to see you later on when you get home, and you know, you got the food. You walk in the door, you smell the food cooking, or it's already cooked. Um, you know, you got your child, you know, getting ready to run and embrace you. I mean, those type of things is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, is that too much to ask for? You know what I'm saying? Is that too much to ask for in this new normal 2022? Because I'm seeing a lot of women, and I've been talking to a lot of women, you know, being back on the dating scene. Those who don't know, now you know. Um, I'm seeing a lot of women with false sense of reality. They don't really understand what it takes to keep a man, nor are they interested in what it takes to keep a good man. Now, there's many men out there. There's only a few good ones who are not married, who are not dead or gay or in prison. You understand? Who has their life together. He's not going to want to put up and deal with a woman with this false sense of reality of what constitutes as a marriage or relationship, and has this horrible attitude about life in itself. That's not going to happen. So love languages are very real. And thanks, Miss MLini, for quoting that. You know, love language is very real. It's very important, vital to understand what a person's love language is and what it isn't. You know what I'm saying? Is it that they like, you know, a kiss when they walk into the door? Do they like a proper greeting? Do they like, you know what I'm saying, taking a shower together with you? You know what I'm saying? Is a love language just holding your hand when you know, walking, taking your walks, or you walking through a mall or a store or whatever case may be? You know, that public affection. Is it that a woman who she just likes a man to pay her bills? That's her love language. And I can't knock a woman for wanting that from a man. That's her love language. If that's what constitutes as love to her. Because truth be told, most women and men, let me reverse that. Most black men and women, truth be told, we have no idea what a proper relationship is. We have no idea what a proper marriage is. You know why? Because we were not shown or given an example of what a good relationship was. If you truth be told, most of us come from very volatile, condescending, pessimistic, degrading circumstances. Some of us escape uh, sexual abuse as a child, physical and verbal abuse as a child. You know what I'm saying? Some of us never escaped it, but we're grown, productive members of society today. And so the fact that we never healed from those abuses from our childhood, grown to adulthood, some of you being abused right now as grown women and men. But we get into these relationships, right? And having a false sense of reality. And most relationships are really about fantasies. We want to see if you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, accommodate my fantasy in a woman or man doing X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? Or I want you to buy into the fantasy that I'm a king, I'm a queen. You're gonna bow down to me and do what I say. That's a false sense of reality because we're caught up in a fantasy that's been downloaded upon us, inculcated upon us through the European system. You know, love, you know, honestly, is fairly new when it comes to civilization. You know, some civilizations are 15, 20,000 years ago. Love has been promoted through TV and radio and music, which has only been around, I would say TV started around 19, black and white TV, I would say 1940, maybe the first televisions, 1940, 1950s. And we were shown what love was. according to what they wanted to propagate through propaganda and TV, movies, media, and radio. So we really lost what love was. If we're gonna get married, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm talking straight from the hip. I haven't even looked at none of my notes that's right in front of me. But this is how passionate I am about what I'm talking about here. I have notes right here. I haven't looked at this once about the topics that I wanted to discuss in this conversation here. So those of you on YouTube, Instagram, if you're on Instagram, I'm going to stop this and go straight to YouTube only. So you guys might want to go to my YouTube channel, King Kevin Dorival. You can just search my name and go to live, because this is a live broadcast right now. So Miss Sexy Gaston, no, but it has to be vice versa, especially if she's working too. Of course, you want to, you want to, both incomes going to make everything better. At least we think so. But that's only going to work if you two have an understanding. My income, my finances pays for this, yours pays for that, and we're going to do this thing together. That's about teamwork, right? And so many of you guys, I haven't really dwelled in relationships in a while, because one, I was in a long relationship. I just had my daughter about a year, some change ago, about 15 months ago. That's what that painting behind me represents. That little girl playing nail polish. It represents my daughter, which my daughter is nowhere near putting on nail polish, by the way. She's the love of my life. Many of us have weak love. It's a very weak love. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? Fictitious love. It's not a love from love. It's a love from hate, because of how we were raised. How can you love somebody? You don't even love yourself properly. Think about it. How can I truly say I love you? I don't even love myself. You know what I'm saying? The things, and many of us, to be honest, we say that we love ourselves, but we really don't. Because we want to do the certain things that we're doing. If we really loved ourselves, we wouldn't be selling ourselves short. We compromising every single thing about us. And also, if we really loved ourselves, we would really be able to love the person we want to project our love energy towards, right? So what people used to, back in the day, whether it was 15, 20,000 years ago, especially in Africa, what we used to do when we were getting married, this practice still goes on today. We married for power and position, not just Africa, in Europe, Asia, Latin America. People married for power and position, not just for love. Or love had nothing to do with it. What love got to do with it? Nothing, like Tina Turner just always say. It has nothing to do with it. It was all about, like I just said, power and position. How can me building with you, a relationship with you, me marrying into your family? Because when you marry somebody, you're not just marrying that person. Now you married, you got to deal with this whole family. That if that young woman's cursed, she comes from a cursed family. When I say cursed, I mean belligerent, loud, obnoxious, broke, poor. Poor means people overlooking opportunity repeatedly. Just negative vibe, negative energy, all types of convicts, living the lives of convicts. It's all kinds of buffoonery. You're marrying into that woman's world, right? And if she's a strong woman, if she's a woman with a beautiful heart and she's strong, and that's another story. She's determined to cut those ties from the family and start a whole new generation with you. That's where a man who has to be a man of God has to have a prayer life so he can bind those curses away from him and their new family. Because many of us are in horrible situations, man. Many of us, we got to run from our families, to be real with you. Because we'll never meet our divine purpose if we stick with this particular person. You'll never meet it. A relationship, a proper relationship, is never supposed to be something that stresses you out every day. Let's get that straight. A proper relationship is not going to stress you out every day. or most of the time. When you see yourself in a situation where both of you guys cuss each other out on a regular basis, it's not no a hugging and kissing and lovemaking going on, and spending quality time together, cooking together, even making a peanut butter jelly sandwich together. It's curse each other out, talking trash about the families, literally cursing each other. You know what I'm saying? Not literally showing love, not there's no type of camaraderie or quality time. It's straight negative time. No one has time for that no more. Who has time to be arguing all day, all night about the same damn things? It's because your relationship has expired. Now, whatever the reason, you're staying together, maybe because it's out of convenience. Many women and men, especially in Atlanta, a lot of men straight live off women. I've seen it. I'm seeing it, not seeing it. I see it. Because there's a lot of women who are very successful here in Georgia. There's a lot of women very successful. They're very, lucrative lifestyles. They have a huge bank accounts. Lord bless me. Doing their thing. But I don't know why I just keep sneezing. I don't have my tea and everything, and it still ain't doing it. But I'm saying all of this to say this, y'all. I really wish that we would spend more time in carefully selecting our mates, because we're eagles in the wild. Now I have an eagle mindset. Eagles, if you notice, they have the same mate for life. Eagles marry the same mate. They keep the same mate for life. So once they lock in with another eagle, because they test their mates. The female eagles test their mates. Now, see, women test men by seeing how much money he gonna call for. Is he gonna pay for X, Y, Z? All they're looking for is financial support and stability for the most part. A woman who has great sense in herself and what she brings to the table, she's not just looking at his finances. Of course, if a man is independent, he's doing his thing, that of course a woman should want that. But she's not only looking at his pockets, and that's what many of you women are screwing up at. You're just looking at a man's dollars, not looking to see, is he a praying warrior? Is he a man of God? Is he a man of honor? Does he respect you? Is he a gentleman? Can he hold intelligent conversations? Can he stimulate you mentally, not just physically, but because most women, when they see a man, from what I was told, a woman knows within 2 minutes if she's going to sleep with a man or not, whether it's that same day or down the road. She automatically knows. I've been told this. I've read about it. But see, men, when we see a woman, we want to sleep with her, period, in our minds. Now, the guys who don't have any boundaries, and every man must have boundaries. As you can see what happens to men who don't have boundaries. We sleep with 1 million women. We drink 1 million bottles of God knows what else, what's out there to drink. You know what I'm saying? 15 bottles of Hennessy, Grey Goose, 1800, et cetera, et cetera. I like drinking, honey whiskey myself. Personally, that's my favorite drink. Y'all ever want to get me a bottle of something to drink? I love that Tennessee whiskey, the honey whiskey. And we'll buy tons of cars and houses and jewelry just to show that we made it. But once a real woman steps into the picture, into that man who has no boundaries, she's going to give him boundaries. She's going to be like, no, boo, we ain't doing that. We're going to put this money into this. Killer Mike, perfect example. If he was just with an average woman and he was trying to buy this Maybach car for a car was like $300-something thousand. You know what happened? His woman, his fiance, well, she's his wife now. His woman said, no, you ain't doing that. We finna go buy this multi-unit property here. We're gonna, instead of spending that $300,000 on that car, we're gonna use this money and we're gonna put it in purchasing this property. And guess how much that property is worth now? Couple $1 million, because he had a woman who wasn't just looking at his pockets, but a woman was looking at the long haul. down the road. That's the type of woman you want. And most guys don't know if they dating a woman or animal. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all women feel like you can just twerk anywhere for any reason, any restaurant. There was a guy in Texas, I think this was last year or the year before. He got mad and told his women to stop twerking in his restaurant. You know, it's people eating. Not everybody don't want to look at your ass bouncing up and down on a table, on a chair. That's no class, no taste. There's another woman just recently, last month, at the Mayan temples. What she did was she went twerking on the steps of these temples. You know what the people did? They threw rocks at her, water bottles, anything they had in their hand, they were throwing at her. She literally got down there, jumped out there. Some group of people kind of grabbed her to save her because, you know, she thought it was all fun and dandy. Let me do a video of me twerking on this ancient Mayan temple. Why would you do that? Why would you degrade an ancient, you know what I'm saying, sacred place like that? Or anywhere. But see, she probably wasn't raised right. She didn't have that loving mother and father in the home. And even if, and let me say this, not every family is going to remain together. Not every family, just because you had a child with a woman or a couple of children or 3, 4, whatever, how many you got married, doesn't mean you're going to stay together. But as long as that love energy was good between the mother and father, and y'all could communicate and do what's best for the child to make sure that both of you are heavily involved in the child's life, it's going to be all right. It's not always going to work like we see the Huxtables and the Cosby Show. It's not going to always work like that. It's not, as a matter of fact, over 70%, 80% of marriages end up in divorce within 2 years. So chances are you get married, you're going to get divorced anyway. I'm not trying to discourage anybody not to get married. But if you're going to get married for the right reasons, because this person is part of your divine destiny and purpose. I've seen marriages last 50 years, 60 years, because they had that staying power. Many of us don't have that staying power. We give up on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So how are you going to bring someone into your world and you already given up on yourself? Think about it, right? So, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to share with you guys this information. Just something that was on my heart. I didn't know what I was gonna make a video about today, and then I was like, you know what? That's it. Marriages. Is love strong enough to get married? Those you don't know, I'm the author of a few books, but this book, the spirit behind these videos, my second book, 7 Types of Queens, King Desire. That's 7 Types of Queens, King Desire, KevinDorival.com. The website is in my bio, Instagram, Facebook. Block my main website, KevinDorival.com, because of some controversial comments that I made during some interviews. But it is what it is. I'm still doing my thing. My next book is called America's and France's 1,000-Year War Against Haiti. See that flag behind me? See that flag? That's the Haitian flag there. You know what I'm saying? My next book, Americans and France's 1,000-Year War Against Haiti, Assassinations of a Nation. It's going to be a groundbreaking book. I'm working, what I want to say? Ferociously, not ferociously. I'm working vigorously on finishing this book. But I am ferociously reading. I'm reading like I'm some kind of ferocious Wolverine, just absorbing information. Just putting this book together, putting the facts together for everybody. But if you want to check out my book, 7 Types of Queen, King Desire, or the one I just mentioned, or either of my other 2 books, The Courage to Believe and The Winning the Mirror, Activating Superpowers, Mind, Body, and Spirit, go to my website, KevinDorival.com, or DivineBooksAndArts.com, which you see in the bio. Click on the bio link, check me out. Bless up y'all if you're in Atlanta. Check me out, Instagram at Courage to Believe. Hit me up on the DM, check me out and I'll check you out. I love meeting new people, networking, questions. I'm not a marriage or wedding relationship expert at all. I just happen to do the research on marriages and relationships. And I want you guys to think about, the story in the Bible when Rebecca had came to the well. And when the guy seen Rebecca come to the well, he had already prayed to God. He asked God, please You know, make a woman, you know, a woman avail to me that my son can marry. You know what I'm saying? This guy wanted a wife for his son, and he prayed, and Rebecca came. Not only did she come to the well, she came to the well with a container, you know. So she came to the well with a container that can feed his camels as well. And so she showed herself resourceful, you know what I'm saying, beautiful, and a lot of grace. Just that little interaction. And so when a man is looking for a woman, the reason why I brought that story up, when a man is looking for a woman, he knows what he's looking for. He knows what he's not looking for. And I know what I'm definitely not looking for. So the search continues, the Queen search continues. God bless y'all. Love y'all. Enjoy your Friday. Holla at me. And many blessings. Peace.